All right, it is April 4th, and it is 7 o'clock. And can you guess what I've got going on? Yep, first cup of coffee, 7 o'clock. It's a lot later for me than usual, thanks to Lauren being awake so much last night. All right, 7:28. I've got my pot of oatmeal here. And so this is what I'm going to have for breakfast. It is my oatmeal. I'm still working on that first cup of coffee. And then here is a protein milk, which is just almond milk, protein powder, and a little bit of gentle sweet. Gentle sweet. Hey, so it's been a minute since I last showed you that oatmeal. It's let's see if I can't get a glare. There we go, 8:28. And that's my bowl of oatmeal. I have not touched it. And here's my protein milk. And it's starting to separate a little bit. And then that cup of coffee that I was drinking, I am about 2/3 of the way done with it. And that's the long and the short of that. And the baby's over here. She's playing around with some baby led weaning here. She was starting to get fussy. And so I went ahead and fed her. And then I saw the opportunity to go to get my shower and have the big girl sit with Lauren. And yeah. I guess I could show you her. There she is. There she is. So anyway, I went through and I got my shower, got ready for the day. And now I'm sitting down to have my oatmeal and my protein milk. And again, this breakfast is literally what I had on Monday morning. So and this time I did about 12 ounces of almond milk and 1 scoop of that Isopure whey protein isolate, the unflavored kind. And then 1 tablespoon of my homemade gentle sweet. And yeah, I really enjoy this. Here, baby. I really love that. And that's kind of something that I do regularly is I will decide on 2 breakfasts to have for the week and just kind of keep recycling those, whether I flip-flop them, you know, A day, B day, or if I just have like a run of days where I have 1 breakfast and then another run of days where I have the second breakfast. That just kind of simplifies life for me. And that way I don't really have to truly plan any kind of breakfast or meals for the daytime stuff. And again, my oatmeal, I do 1 part oats to 4 parts liquid, whether that's water, almond milk. I usually just do water because if I can get it down to just 2 ingredients, I simplify my life. And the sun is shining. I don't know if you can tell, like we have piles of snow out there. It snowed again yesterday for the majority of the day. And I'm not really sure that April snow showers bring Mayflowers, but it was technically a snow shower. So I guess the old adage could be true. It's 9 o'clock. 9:05. And I'm still like trying to eat my oatmeal and drink my coffee and finish up my protein milk here. I'm struggling today, y'all. Last night, Lauren was up every hour and a half to 2 hours to nurse, and I don't know if she's going through like a growth spurt or if it's this little low-grade fever that she's been battling or if it's just a sleep regression or what. But so I've been up a lot last night, or I was up a lot last night, and so I'm a lot tired. It's amazing how like having a few nights of reasonable sleep can really become comfortable. And then you have a night where you don't get good sleep and all of a sudden you're just like, I feel like I've got a newborn again. But anyway, so I didn't get good sleep last night, and then I woke up late. And I say late because I like to wake up a full hour before the girls get up just so that I can have some peace and quiet. Hey, I'm back. Jared called, so I spoke to him for a little bit. And I think what I was talking about before he called was waking up an hour or so before the girls wake up, just so that I can have some quiet time. I can read my Bible. I can have my first cup of coffee, and just kind of like ease into my day. And because of Lauren and I being up so much last night, I hit the snooze button and I said, nope, not today, alarm clock. And so I've kind of been behind the curve a little bit today. And so that means that I didn't get a shower before they got up. I didn't get ready for the day before they got up. I had to cook breakfast because we needed breakfast. And so then I wound up just going ahead and I made my breakfast at 7:30, which I showed you, but I didn't actually eat it at that time. And that's just the way it is, honestly. Like if I'm having to take a shower that morning, or like, you know, full blown like hair and everything, then it usually takes me 45 minutes. And typically I want to get that done before we kickstart lessons, because if I'm ready for the day, I am much better at teaching lessons. And, you know, I just feel kind of sluggish whenever I try to teach lessons in my jammies and, you know, everybody else is in their jammies. I don't know. It just seems like we do really well whenever we have the, it's like a mental cue, like we're dressed for the day, so we are doing our work. So yeah, I did a repeat of Monday, basically. Like I had the girls watch Lauren while I went to get a shower and get ready for the day. And then whenever I came back, it was about 8:25 or so. And then just sitting here trying to eat my food with Lauren so the girls could go get dressed and ready. Lauren is just too involved in all the things, okay? She's just really interested in participating in everything that is happening on this table. But I did go ahead and implement the tip about, or the best practice of sitting at the table and eating your meal and not having the distractions. Now, granted, Lauren is a pretty big distraction, so I'm not sure that I actually could discern whether or not I feel full, but I sat down at the table. My meal was here, and I followed a Jennifer L. Scott, the Daily Connoisseur, her video. She's got a video about like setting your table, and even if you put out flowers just for you, that's worth it. You're worth it to set a nice table and to sit down and just eat your meal. And I think as mamas, we tend to not do that just because of the fact that as soon, it's like Murphy's Law for mothers. As soon as you sit down, everybody is on you like a duck on a June bug. And they're all like, it's like 3 ducks on 1 June bug for me. And so it's like I've trained myself to not sit down to eat food because I don't want to be in the middle of trying to eat, but trying to wrestle everybody else's needs or wants. And I preach at my kids all the time, don't talk with your mouth full of food. Don't talk with food in your mouth. You know, if you've got food in your mouth, I can't understand you and it's gross. And yet they all descend upon me whenever I am trying to eat my food. So then I'm following my preaching about not talking with food in your mouth with them so that I can live that with them. And then I never wind up getting to eat my food because they all need something right then and there. And so I've kind of trained myself to just never sit down to eat unless it's dinner and it's a full, like, actual dinner meal as a family. And that's not okay. I need to work on getting them to understand that if mama is sitting down to eat, there are very few reasons why you need to interrupt. Like hurt, bathroom, or like, I don't know. I feel like those are the only 2 that really apply. And so training them up to respect the sanctity of a mealtime, I think that is definitely a skill set that we need to work on. I don't think that's something that anybody naturally just is inclined towards. I think that's a learned habit. So I've been talking a lot about habits lately, and I think that habits are really where it's at. I don't do well with routine or like schedule. I do better with like rhythms and having habits. Like that I do better with. Pretty sure I went down about 8 different rabbit trails. Anywho, I think I'm actually going to finish up this cup of coffee, make 1 more, and then head down to the schoolroom. 9:22, second cup of coffee. Alrighty, it is 12:20, and I am starving. And since I had an E for breakfast with that oatmeal, technically it was a crossover, I'm going to have a heavier fat lunch. So this is an S, and it's kind of a lighter S. I don't know. Anyway, so I took let me grab it, a Joseph's flax, oat bran, and whole wheat pita. Sliced it in half, stuffed it up with a whole bunch of spinach, a little bit of homemade mayonnaise, and some ham and provolone. These are, let me grab those again. Hang on. The Joseph's, clearly it's a Joseph's lunch, Joseph's lavash bread with the flax, oat bran, whole wheat. And if you only do 1/2 of a piece of that lavash bread and toast it up in the oven at 350 degrees for just a few minutes, with like the lightest spray of cooking oil and salt, sprinkle of salt, they turn into some lovely chips. So I've got that, and then I've got some just like store-bought salsa. This salsa has no sugar in it. No sugar. And the sugar that's on the macros part of it is from the tomatoes. I'm sure there's something wonky in that natural flavoring, but I like this quite a lot. So this is going to be my lunch. So really quickly, I wanted to add that my lunch is a crossover because these pitas, they have 5 net carbs in them, and I have those lavash chips that I made that for half of a lavash bread, it would be, I think it's 5 net carbs. So that right there would put me at 10 net carbs for a lunch, but I am probably going to have more than half of a lavash bread turned into chips. I'll probably wind up having an entire lavash bread turned into chips. So that will put me at about 15 grams of carbs, but I'm actually purposefully trying to be crossing over on a regular basis. So I just needed to clarify that, and I'm turned sideways here at my table because my lighting is just awful over here, and I know if I stand up with this food, I'm gonna stand up and eat it instead of sitting down and focusing on enjoying my food. It is 2:18 and I really want a coffee, and it's only been 2 hours since I ate lunch. But I feel like I've had this is my 30-ounce tumbler that I've been drinking out of today, and I have finished tumbler number 5. Do you know what that means? That means that I have drunk 150 ounces of water today. That also means that I have had to use the restroom a whole lot more than normal. That was a fun fact that was really unnecessary, so I don't know why I shared that. But I've got my coffee going here. I'm gonna have that coffee, and I'm gonna go sit down with my book. It is 4:55, and I am currently in the process of cooking dinner. I have Miss Teeny Weeny Baby here. She's really not that tiny. And I haven't been coming on and showing you my water, but I have been showing you things that I drink that like are my coffee. But right now I'm really craving some kombucha, so I'm going to grab a glass of kombucha. And I'm gonna sip on this while I've got my dinner cooking back there. Okay. 5:24 p.m. and it's time for some dinner. So I have the last of our dreamy chicken lazone here, and that's 3 tenders worth. Good grief, I need to repaint my nails. I have some chopped up carrot sticks, and then this is sauteed cabbage. And I sauteed that in some avocado oil with a little salt, pepper, and garlic powder. And then after it was done cooking, I just sort of sprinkled on a little bit of apple cider vinegar. And I'm still working on my kombucha, and I have another tumbler of water here. We have random baby socks, but we are sitting at the table. So definitely doing really well with that today. All right, it's 8 o'clock. I mean, practically 8:04, same difference, and it's super dark outside, and I am feeling I've been feeling snacky all afternoon, but I haven't eaten anything because I kept telling myself, just wait till dinner, just wait till dinner. And then dinner came, and I enjoyed it very much, and I was full after dinner. And that now for the past, I don't know, 2 hours. And that was like half an hour after I finished eating. I've been just so snacky and I hate that feeling. And I just don't know what's going on, honestly. Like, I don't know why sometimes I'm more snacky than others. And I've drunk a ton of water, so I don't think it has anything to do with like being thirsty. I don't know. But I managed to make some payoff day candies here. And I'm going to have 2 of these, only 2. And I've talked in a past Wellness Wednesday that these payoff day candies are kind of a trigger for me, and I am trying to exercise some self-control because I know that I am capable of exercising self-control. I just have to do it. So I'm going to have 2 payoff day candies. I'm going to have a cup of hot tea. I really like this. I'm sure I've talked about it before. It's gone. I bet Jared took all the last of it. Fear not. There's another box in the pantry. Per usual. Pay dirt. I really like this honey vanilla chamomile, as does Jared. So we buy lots of this. So I'm probably gonna have a cup of this plus 2 and only 2 payoff day candies. In fact, I think I'm gonna take them and I'm gonna put them in a bag and put them in the deep freeze out in the garage, so that way it's even more of a deterrent for me. I don't know why I'm waving around a box of tea here, but that way it's even more of a deterrent for me to go and grab a candy, like do a flyby, which is what I talked about in Wellness Wednesday. Flybys will get me in trouble every time. So by putting them in the freezer in the garage, there's less chance of there being a flyby. It's a brilliant plan, right? Right. And that's going to be the end of it for me today. I'm not going to have anything else aside from water. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. It was kind of a pretty all right day's worth of food, and I'm pleased that I got more vegetables in a more spread out time frame. And yeah, I think it's been a good day. So I'm gonna go have those. I'm keep reiterating to myself over and over again. I don't think y'all have forgotten, but I think I need it just to constantly rehear it in my head to solidify the fact that I'm only having 2 payoff day candies. Anyway, so I'm gonna go eat those, drink my hot tea, fold some laundry, and maybe watch a show. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything on TV that's even worth watching right now. But that's my plan. Anyway, I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.